Welcome back to my channel and a special welcome if you're new here. My name is Jen and this is Jen Clayton Beauty. We do everything beauty and makeup, and that includes testing new makeup. And like I said in my last testing new makeup, I have bought a lot of makeup. I've received all of my beauty subscription boxes for June, so I have a lot of new makeup to test out with you. And today we're testing 6 new products. Some I bought myself and some came in those beauty subscription boxes. Now I've unboxed all of my beauty boxes for June, so all of those videos are on my channel if you want to see exactly what came in those boxes, and I'm getting through trying out all of those makeup products that I received. So if you're excited for another testing new makeup, give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not, turn your bell on because I upload lots and lots of new videos every single week. Down in the description box, I will list all of the new makeup that I tried today with links, discount codes, all the information for you if you're interested in picking up any of the products, as well as all of the other makeup that I'm wearing today, discounts to my favorite beauty boxes and my favorite indie brands, and come follow me on TikTok for more beauty and makeup. So let me zoom you in and let's get started testing 6 new products. So I have done all of my skincare, applied my e.l.f. Jelly Pop Primer, and we're going to test out a new foundation. This is from the brand Wander Beauty, and this is their powder foundation. Now this came in my Ipsy box, and it's in the shade medium. Now when I unboxed it, I said I'm not the biggest powder foundation fan because I do have normal to dry skin, and I find that sometimes powder foundation just makes me look cakey and dry. So I'm interested to see how this performs. It does have a little powder puff in it. I do appreciate the little cover over the actual powder product. I think we're going to use the sponge that came with it, and if I need to, I can use a brush or a damp beauty sponge, but I want to try this as it comes with the little puff. Like I said, I did some primer, so let's try this out. I am a little bit nervous, again, like I said, because I do have normal to dry skin, and I don't want my skin to look really dry and cakey. So I'm going to just tap this into the skin. So it's looking pretty good on the skin, and actually this little puff that came with it is not bad for application. Now my primer is pretty sticky, so I can feel the puff sticking to my primer as I apply the foundation, which is exactly what I wanted out of the primer. Something tacky that's going to hold my makeup in place. Now this is a perfect shade for me. It actually is it's a great shade match for me, and I'm liking how this is looking being applied. So there is the powder foundation. Now it definitely set my primer. I don't have any more tackiness, and it gave me pretty good coverage. I would say maybe a medium coverage. After applying it, it is a little tiny bit light for my skin tone, but we'll just warm that up with some bronzer. But it feels really nice, and like I said, gave me some good coverage. And I actually like the little puff. I wasn't sure that I would like the puff. At the end of the video, I will give you a wear test on how this foundation wore. That's going to be the real indicator. Does it end up looking dry and cakey and crusty by the end of the day? So I'll definitely give you an update, but so far, again, I like the coverage. I like the way it's sitting on my skin. So let me go ahead and do some concealer and powder bronzer, and then I'll be back because I have a highlighter and a blush to test out with you. So I went ahead and did some concealer, set my concealer, did some powder bronzer. I'm feeling a little bit better because that definitely warmed up my skin. We're going to try the brand new Patrick Ta highlighter. I mentioned in a new makeup releases that I wanted to pick this up. Now this is a pricey product. This is $40. I love, which is the lightest silvery shade. That's the one that spoke to me the most. Now this is an interesting product. I actually just hopped on over to the Sephora website to read about how to use this product. So this is a multi-dimensional highlighter. We have a powder highlighter, and under this little plastic flap here is a cream highlight. Now you would think you would do the cream then the powder on top, but according to the Sephora website, for a multi-dimensional effect, you apply the powder foundation and then you apply the cream on top. Now I will say when I swatched this, I was a little bit disappointed. I didn't think that it gave that Scene from Space highlight that I really like. The highlight I can get from a lot of indie makeup brands actually actually the highlight from the Fenty Beauty Pretty Pearls that was in my testing new makeup. That's an amazing, amazing highlighter. And that one is also $40. So this kind of has a lot to live up to. So we're going to do it the way that it recommends on the Sephora website, starting with the powder and then putting the cream, kind of multi-dimensional cream on top. So I am a little bit nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I really hope that this performs. So I'm going to pick up the powder first. Oh, okay, that's really beautiful. That's a little bit prettier than I kind of expected. Oh yeah, that is really pretty. Now, normally I do my blush first, then my highlight, but I didn't know if this was going to work. So I wanted to do this first. If I had to wipe it off, I didn't want to have to wipe off blush and bronzer, but it is looking really, really pretty. All right, that is beautiful. Now we're going to try out the cream, and I'm going to pick that up on my finger, and you can see that it's nothing. It's literally just clear, kind of glassy, and I'm going to pop that on top. So here's the side without the clear cream, and then here's the side with the cream. You know, I don't know that I like the cream. I feel like it kind of picked up the powder highlighter. I don't think it really did anything. I actually think the highlight on its own is a little bit more impactful. I also feel like the creamy kind of picked up the highlighter a little bit. I don't think I like it. Let me go back over with what was left on my brush. I mean, it's a pretty highlight. I just don't know that that cream did a whole lot of anything other than picked up, like I said, a little bit of the highlight. I always put highlighter on my nose, my forehead, my Cupid's bow. We'll do that after we apply the blush. I'm unsure about this Patrick Ta product. Blush, I'm really excited. I finally got my hands on a not broken NYX Buttermilk blush. I ordered 2 of these from Ulta. They both came completely shattered. I finally went back into Ulta and they had them in stock, which the first time I went to return the shattered blush, there wasn't any in stock. This time they had them in stock. So I was able to get my hands on one. This is in the shade Had Butter. So this is a beautiful coral shade. I love the NYX Buttermilk bronzer. So like I said, I was really excited to try out the blush. I just kept getting broken ones in the mail from Ulta, which is pretty standard for Ulta. Whenever you order something online, it always comes broken, which is so frustrating. But we are finally going to be able to test this out. Okay, that is so pretty. Look at the pigmentation in that. Wow. Wow, okay, that is really pretty. Look at how pretty that is. I love the coral shade of it. And honestly, that my highlighter kind of went away when I added the blush. I'm going to go back into the powder highlighter. I do not like the cream at all. And I'm going to just add a little bit more highlight over the blush. I don't like this highlighter. I don't like it at all. And $40 when all I'm going to use out of here is the powder highlight is not worth it to me. There's so many other highlighters out there. Like I said, the Fenty Beauty Pretty Pearls is so beautiful. I even feel like this one is sitting a bit on top of my skin, not really sinking into my skin like the other highlight. I mean, the blush is 100% saving this look. I don't like this at all. I don't like it at all. I'm going to see how it wears throughout the day, but I think I'm gonna return this. And I never return any makeup unless it comes broken, but I don't like this. And it's a waste of $40. And I feel like $40 for this it's not worth it. I don't see myself reaching for this because there's so many highlights I like better. But let's see how it wears throughout the day. And of course, at the end of the video, I'll give you my final thoughts on this testing new makeup. But first impression, not a fan. I'm going to go ahead and set my face with some setting spray. This is the Glow Mist from Ulta Beauty. I really like this. It adds a nice glow to the skin, but isn't tacky. And this is just going to sink all of those powder products into my skin. We're gonna test out the Ace Beauté palette. This is the one that came in my Ipsy as well. This is the Mystic Romance. So I'll go ahead and insert close-up swatches for you. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to prime my eyes with my MAC Paint Pot and Painterly. This is my go-to eyeshadow primer. I always use this when applying shadow. This is the Ace Beauté Mystic Romance palette. Now, in my new makeup releases, I talked about Ace Beauté and I mentioned I thought that they were going out of business, that's what I had saw on Instagram, but in reality, they are just restructuring and rebranding. So they're not going out of business, but I would assume that that's why this palette is in Ipsy, because it's probably going to have new packaging in the future. But I think this is a beautiful palette. It is a rosy toned palette with some neutral shades. There's some light mattes, mid-tone mattes, and deep mattes. It's swatched really, really nicely. And this is a color story that I tend to gravitate towards. I love burgundies, maroons, purples, pinks, reds. Those are just colors that definitely complement my eye color and my skin tone. So I was excited to receive this in my box. It was actually one of the items that I was able to choose. So we're gonna test it out today. We're going to do a full look and we'll see if this is the typical good Ace Beauté formula. So I put on a maroon shirt today. So let's do a maroon leaning look. So I'm going to start with a lighter shade, use this to set my eye primer as my transition. I'm going to pick up the shade Rose, which is this kind of mid-toned pink. And we're going to pop that into the crease and also a little bit above the crease. I do have slightly hooded eyes, so when my eyes are open, I still want to be able to see this shade Rose. So that's why I'm bringing that just a little bit above the crease. This is going on really nice. Nice and pigmented, easy to apply, easy to blend. So far, it's performing really well, like I expect from Ace Beauté. Then I'm going to go into this deeper burgundy shade called Allure. I'm going to tap that off. It's a pretty deep shade, and I'm going to pop that on the outer corner to give myself some depth. That is a beautiful, beautiful burgundy shade. Very pigmented, and it's layering like perfection over that shade Rose. Definitely looks a little bit more red in the pan, but layering it over Rose, it's a little deeper purple burgundy. I really, really like that shade. It went on beautifully. As always, I'm going to use my NYX glitter primer. This is what I use again every time I do an eye look. My MAC Paint Pot and my NYX glitter primer. I'm going to pop that on my lid before we test out these shimmers. Now, as always, I want to apply one shimmer with my finger, one shimmer with a brush so we can test out different application methods. So I'm going to pick up the shade Spellbound. It's this beautiful kind of purpley leaning matte with a black base, and I'm going to put that on the outer half of my lid. I'm going to reserve the inner portion for a different shimmer shade. I want this to add a little bit more depth to that outer portion of my eye. This is really pretty. It's not the most sparkly shimmer in the entire world, but it's definitely adds a little bit of, like I said, depth, and you can see the shift of the shimmer shade. It is also a black base, so again, it adds that nice, deep, dark outer corner. I'm going to pick up the shade Euphoria on a pencil brush. This is a little bit more of a purple leaning shimmer. It has a deeper base as well, and I'm going to place that right next to that first shimmer, keeping the actual inner portion of my lid open because I want to be able to apply a lighter shimmer to the inner portion. That's beautiful. It definitely lightened that up a little bit, added a little bit of purple. Looks really nice next to that deeper shade. Then I'm going to go into this shade here called Starry. This is one of the lighter mattes in the palette. Again, sticking with these more purple leaning mattes, and I'm going to put that on the inner portion of my lid. That's also really pretty. It's a little bit deeper of a matte than deeper of a shimmer than I expected, but it's one shade lighter than the middle shimmer and 2 shades lighter than the outer, which is exactly what I was looking for. I think that looks really, really beautiful. And for my inner corner highlight, I'm using this light shimmer called Celestial. It's a little bit pinky orange, and I'm going to pop that on the inner corner. That's really pretty. Really, really pretty. definitely brightened up that inner corner. That would also be beautiful all over the lid if you wanted a little bit lighter shimmer. And going back into the shade Allure, which is the shade on the outer corner of our eye, I'm going to buff that on my lower lash line. And then I'm going back into that shimmer Starry. That's the lightest shimmer on the inner portion of our lid, and I'm going to buff that on top. And that just helps diffuse out that lower lash line, add a little bit of shimmer. So the last thing I'm going to do is pick up that fluffy brush that we applied the shade Rose in our crease, and I'm going to just give everything a blend. There's no added shadow. I did actually just clean the brush off. I just want to use that for a final blend. Let me go ahead and do some liner, and then we have a new mascara to try. So I did some liner in my waterline, applied my black liquid, my black felt tip liner, and we're gonna test out the floss of the Rise Above mascara. This also came in my subscription box. I'm in need of a new mascara, and I was anxious to try this because it does have a little bit more of that smaller plasticky wand, which isn't my favorite. I actually like a more fluffy wand until I found the Ulta New Heights mascara has this tiny wand, and it is an amazing mascara. So it's kind of changed my mind about big fluffy wands, and now I'm not opposed to these more plastic style wands. So we're gonna test this out. This offer is supposed to offer volume, blackness, thickness. So we will see. So this eye has the floss mascara and this eye does not. Now, first impression, I don't love it. I don't feel like I got a lot out of the application. Now with mascara, sometimes it has to be open for a while before it really performs to its peak performance, but I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I can see that my lashes definitely look different on this side than this side, but it's just not giving a lot. I don't feel like a lot of product is coming out on the brush. So when I'm applying, I'm having to go back in multiple times to pick up enough product. There's one coat of the mascara. I'm going to let this dry for just a minute or two, and then I'm going to do a second coat and see if I can get a little bit more out of this mascara. So there is 2 coats of the Floss Rise Above mascara. I don't like this mascara. It really didn't do a whole lot for my lashes. I can typically do 2 coats. I do have pretty long, full lashes, and I just don't think that this did a whole lot for me. I mean, it definitely made my lashes blacker, but did it add volume and length? No. And like I said, there isn't much product that comes off of the brush. I'm curious how this is going to wear. Is it going to flake? Is it going to transfer? Again, I'll give you a wear test at the end of the video. I'm quickly going to do my brows, and then we have a new lip product to try. Lastly, I picked up one of the new e.l.f. plumping glosses. You guys asked me to get this when I talked about it in my new makeup releases, and I love e.l.f. products. I actually went online and ordered their Soft Glam foundation. That is in my previous testing new makeup. If you missed it, I'll link that video. And while I placed that order on the e.l.f. website, I decided to order the Sun Boss Gloss Broad Spectrum SPF 23 sunscreen, and I got mine in the shade Peachy Queen. Queen with a K. Kween. The packaging of this is really, really nice. And again, this is a SPF lip gloss. I love having SPF for my lips, and if I can get a lip gloss, some color, some opacity, and some sunscreen, that's a huge win. So I have nothing on my lips. I'm not using any lip liner. I'm just going to apply the gloss. Ooh, I really like this color. It is so pretty. It actually pairs beautifully with the NYX blush. These two look really, really nice together. Maybe not the best color with this eye look per se. Maybe it would have been better paired with maybe a pink lippy, but I really like the formula of this. It's thick and it's creamy. It's not sticky at all. Now I did have to dip the doe foot in a couple times to get enough product, and that may be because it's brand new and the product has maybe settled a little bit during shipping, but the end result is beautiful. It's very opaque, very pretty. I love the color of this. This is a beautiful product. So here is the completed look for this testing new makeup. I definitely have some thoughts on the products that I used. Today, I feel like we had some wins and we had some fails. So let's first start with the Wander Beauty Powder Foundation. Overall, I like this product. I am not a big powder foundation person. I don't know how often I will use this. I was actually thinking that this may just end up in my purse and I could use it to at least touch up during the day. If I have product disappear due to the heat, or if I have some oiliness, especially in my T-zone, I could use this to freshen up throughout the day. I don't know that I would use this product as foundation. It's a little bit light for me. Again, I got mine in medium, which is typically what I get, but it's just a little bit light for my skin tone. And I'm just not the biggest powder foundation lover. However, I will go ahead and pop up here on the screen a wear test. I wore the Wander Beauty powder foundation all day, a little over 12 hours. We'll go ahead and pop up here on the screen a wear test of the Wander Beauty powder foundation. My skin looked really nice. It definitely gave me coverage. It didn't look cakey or dry, which is what I was afraid of, what always concerns me with powder foundations. So the application and everything of the foundation is great. It's just not a product that I love. I'm very much a hydrating cream foundation girl, but I think I'm gonna pop this in my purse and we'll definitely use this for touch up. And then let's talk about the NYX Buttermelt Blush. I was so excited to finally get one of these that wasn't broken, one of these that we could test out, and it didn't disappoint. I love the bronzer, like I mentioned, and this blush is so pretty. It just melts into the skin. Buttermelt is the perfect name for this blush. I love the component of it. It looks like a little stick of deodorant. I love the color of this. Again, this is in the shade Had Butter. It's the perfect shade for summer. It's coral, it's bright, it's beautiful. It applied really nicely to the skin, sunk into the skin. You can go with a lighter hand if you don't want as bold of a blush, and you're able to build it up as well. So this for $10, huge win. Now, not a huge win is the new Patrick Ta highlight. I do not like this at all. The powder highlighter is not bad. The powder highlighter, it gives you that scene from space. It's beautiful. My issue with the powder highlighter is it just sits on the skin. I don't think it blended in and melted into my skin. Even after spraying my face with setting spray and melting all those powder products in, I still feel like it just sat on the skin a little bit. And the cream in here did absolutely nothing. Like I said, it picked up the highlighter, if anything. And this whole icy white moment, I have this in my Fenty Beauty Pretty Pearls. I know I've talked about that a lot, but that highlighter blew my mind. I'm obsessed with it. I'll link it for you. And actually that video that I tested it out, it is absolutely stunning. And it's this same kind of vibe. And yes, it was $40, but it performs. This does not perform. I don't like this at all. I put it back in the box because I'm going to go ahead and return it to Sephora and get my $40+ back. I don't recommend this. You'll have to let me know if you've tried this out. I actually saw Teresa Is Dead's video where she tested this exact same highlighter. She actually bought this shade, the silver shade and the pink, and she hated them. She hated them. And I don't like them either. I'm really disappointed in this. I've never really purchased, and I don't think I've purchased anything from Patrick Ta. This doesn't make me excited about the brand. So this is going back. If you tested this out, let me know your thoughts. But for me, it's a huge disappointment. And then the Ace Beauté Mystic Romance palette. I like this. I like this palette a lot. Like I said, I love the color story. These are my tones. And I think my eye look turned out beautiful. I'm excited to play around with more of the lighter shades to get a little bit more lighter ethereal look, but it pairs beautifully with my shirt. The mattes performed, the shimmers performed. Eye look is a little bit even more matte looking because the shimmers that I chose aren't the really sparkly ones in the palette. So next time I'm going to lean on the sparkly shimmers to test those out, but I really like my look. Like I said, this performed beautifully. I'm excited to continue to use this, and I'm excited to see what Ace Beauté does with their rebranding and their reformulation. The mascara is another disappointment for me. I don't like it at all. And even looking at my eyes now, this mascara really did nothing for my lashes. This is 2 coats of mascara. I definitely don't have volume. I definitely don't have length. It just applied black product to my lashes. I don't like it at all. I don't see myself reaching for this again. I'm going to instantly put this in the declutter bin. No, this is not a winner for me. Lastly, the new e.l.f. SPF gloss. I think I said plumping gloss. This isn't a plumping gloss. This is just a gloss with SPF. I love it. I love the color. It feels amazing on my lips. I've been drinking my coffee and the gloss is still there. It just feels really comfortable. e.l.f. is killing it this year with their releases. I'm definitely going to continue to use this when I'm not on a lip no buy. I'm on a lip no buy and I still bought this because you guys wanted to have me test it out. I'm not mad that I picked it up. I really like it. I will probably get a few more shades down the road, but I am going to use the heck out of this summer. Getting the SPF is amazing. And like I said, I love the formula, the color, the longevity. So that's a wrap on another testing new makeup. Unfortunately, this time we didn't have a whole lineup of wins. We actually had 3 products that I really enjoyed. The Wander Beauty foundation is okay. Again, it's not the foundation, it's just personal preference. So we can put that in the good category. And then 2 products I just didn't like. The Patrick Ta highlighter and the Floss mascara. 4 out of 6 is not bad, and the 4 that I do like, I will continue to use those. So overall, this was a successful testing new makeup. Again, I'll link everything I tried down below for you if you're interested in picking up anything for yourself. I'll also have all of the other makeup that I'm wearing. If you want to shop my overall look, my favorite beauty boxes, discounts to my favorite indie brands, and of course, come follow me on TikTok for more beauty and makeup. Let me know down below, what do you think of my look? Have you tried any of these products? What are your thoughts? Let me know down below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.